this together over maybe just 5-6 weeks ago. We were a bit worried we wouldn't get the promotional information out there in time to get great traction with the community. But to our surprise, our collective effort and network and voice, we filled our initial 200 spots within a week. And to that, we'd like to send a big thank you for all of you in attendance, for joining to listen and learn, and also for using your voice. Because it is in the power of community that we start changing and reimagining a system that is centered not in the preservation of power, but one towards justice, equity, and liberation. Next slide, please. And just to show how strong the solidarity here is for our Palestinian colleagues in Gaza, this is a map of all the countries that are present. We have representation from over 6 continents. Yes, I'm still counting Antarctica as one. One day we'll get a folk registered there. From 49 different countries and over 280 people registered. So thank you. Before I pass the mic on to our speakers today, I have a few housekeeping items I'd like to share. As you have probably noticed, your mic and chat box function have been disabled for the duration of the presentation, just to make things run as smoothly as possible. However, please send over any questions you may have through the Q&A function that you can find on the bottom of your scroll bar, and we'll do our best to accommodate to that at the end of our session. Your video options are enabled for those who feel comfortable. I will note that we may ask you to turn off your video for better connectivity for our speakers in Palestine. You also will find that the closed caption is enabled on your Zoom function, if that is helpful. You'll find that on the bottom right corner of the scroll bar at the bottom. Unfortunately, we can only set it for English across for all the participants. You can enable that, like I said, at the bottom of the screen. And lastly, as you've probably noticed, we are recording the session. So if you need to, please change your name display to whatever is most suitable to you. Next slide, please. Before we start, next, I'd like to acknowledge that I am currently calling in from the unceded, unsurrendered, and stolen lands on the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, on what is colonial and commonly known as Vancouver, Canada. For those that are not from this part of the world, the Indigenous peoples of Turtle Island, or what is known as North America, have been stewards of this land since time immemorial. And as an uninvited settler and first-generation immigrant from Hong Kong with its own own colonial past, it is with deep, immense gratitude and responsibility to be able to on these lands and water. Lands and waters that I and many of us in attendance today directly benefit from centuries long of ongoing practice of settler colonialism, resource extraction, land theft, and displacement across Turtle Island. And yet these dark history, deep systemic racism, and lessons we have on Turtle Island are not in vacuum, as evident by the many references of how Palestine is everywhere. And as we gather here today in solidarity with our Palestinian colleagues during these unimaginable 20 months of ongoing genocide, with feelings of urgency, rage, despair, but also hope, strength, and resilience, I want to take this opportunity to thank and invite all of you here to continue to do the work. While there is immense urgency in our collective actions today, catalyzed by the most recent Israel blockade and weaponization of humanitarian aid, I want to bring light to the slow work that is and will be required of us moving forward. The day-to-day work that is less reactive and less loud, but work that is required towards transformative change. The type of work that happens in our personal, social, and professional spaces. The individual unlearning, the conversation with family and neighbors, the steadfastness to speak up against institutions and professional bodies, and the building of relationships and partnerships, both new and old. Because it is the accumulation of this slow work that centers truth, justice, community, pluralism, and our interconnectedness with all beings that will drive us towards collective change and liberation for future generations. So as we mobilize here together for Palestine, many of us as allied health professionals, let this be a continuation of the movement that those before us started and those in Palestine continue to do daily. Because as physios, occupational therapists, or rehab professionals, mobilizing is what we do best. Next slide, please. So our goal today was really to create a space where we get to listen and learn from our Palestinian colleagues. And it is our hope that in these next 90 minutes together, we are able to offer a different narrative, one that differs from the Western media, one where, despite the unimaginable conditions in Gaza, we continue and illustrate the incredible strength and resilience of the Palestinians and Gazan rehabilitation community and staff, as told by them. So we are expressing our deepest gratitude to our speakers today, both from Gaza and those who have recently returned to speak with us. Some of them will be joining us live, and some of them will be sharing the videos that they pre-recorded. But I'd just like to do a quick introduction to see who have contributed today. So if we can go to the next slide. We have Mohammed Kazim joining us from Gaza. He is the Vice Dean in the Faculty of Health at the Islamic University of Gaza. We have Rachel Moses, a UK physio. We have Shad Al-Shatali, physiotherapist from Gaza in Palestine. Next slide. We have Doa Abu Hali, who is a physiotherapy student from Palestine. We have Hadil Al-Rafati, another physio student from Gaza. And we have Mahmoud Al-Halak, an occupational therapist from Gaza. And honestly, my deepest thanks to all of you for contributing to what we have here today. Words don't describe how excited I am, but also slightly nervous. But before inviting our first speaker today, we'd like to start with this quote by Shad. And we think this is such a great way and really encapsulated why we got together a month ago to put this together, which is, sharing our stories is the only way to show the world our truth. And with that, let's hear their stories. Next slide, please. One second, I'm just trying to find Mohammed because he is here with us. One second, folks.
Yes, there's something.
Oh, yes. Mohammed, is your screen on right now? I'm just having some troubles finding you to pin you so we can all see you.
Okay. I'm with you with my voice. Really, this is a great chance. My words lost from me to express my gratitude to you all, the organizers, the attendants. Really, this is so powerful to stand before people like you, organizing this event to support and to stand with Palestine and Palestinian physios. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your work, for your dignity, or for your stand with Palestine. Let me to talk something about those people who supporting us. Dear esteemed colleagues, brothers, sisters, warm greetings to you all. It's really, truly an honor to stand before such a dedicated professionals today. No matter where you work, your unwavering commitment to healing and restoring meaning to the people's lives is deeply inspiring. We champion dignity, compassion, and the universal right to health values that transcend border. Before we begin our presentation, Physiotherapy and Rehabilitation, a story of resilience amid destruction, let me to express my deepest gratitude to those among you who stand in solidarity with Palestine during this humanitarian crisis. Your solidarity reflects the heart of physiotherapy, a commitment to humanity, justice, and healing that extend far beyond the walls of any clinic. We have to know here in this community, in this event, that every successful rehabilitation story represent a second chance for life-saving recovery, as most of the injured people expose their life in danger, or they make their life in danger and obligated to displace another times and times from their places, from hospitals, from anywhere they live in, they are expected to leave it as soon as. So the rehabilitation process, making these people and making the movement and the displacement of these people easier, as if everyone try to escape with his life, to save his life, to save his children's lives. Today, let the spirit guide our discussion as we explore the great challenges that we as physiotherapists face in Gaza. Let us to act together to elevate our care for the people who deserve. This is not just about treatment, it's about dignity, resilience, and collective action. That's what can I say for you all? And let me move to the slides of our presentation. Thank you. Here, Gaza Strip. Gaza Strip is a small and narrow piece of land located in the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. It's about 362 square kilometers and divided into 5 governorates. The Governorate of South, Rafah Governorate, Khan Yunis Governorate, and Mid-Zone Governorate, and the Gaza City Governorate, and the North Governorate, which contain Jabalia and Beit Lahia. And in Gaza Strip, there are 8 refugee camps and 4 villages in Gaza Strip. Next, please. Regarding the population in Gaza, Gaza is considered as the most populated area in the world. It's about 2.3 million people in a very narrow piece of land. 70% are registered as refugees, 40% under the age of 14 years. Next, please. Before October 2023, the situation was very hopeful for everything, for the profession of physiotherapy, for the services, medical services that the people receive, despite of the continuous siege that was put on Gaza Strip. Next, please. First of all, I would like to show you something about the education of physiotherapy in Palestine and in Gaza Strip mainly. In Gaza Strip, there are 2 main universities, the Islamic University and Al-Azhar University. Both of these universities provide a baccalaureate program of 4 years in physiotherapy specialty. They annually graduate about 30 graduates per year from both students, male and female. In the Al-Azhar University, before 2023 and 2022, first master rehabilitation or first master physiotherapy program was established, and the first postgraduates was succeeded their certificates during this war of genocide. The second university, the Islamic University, which has also a program of baccalaureate program in physiotherapy. It's graduated about 30 graduates per year from both sexes. In the Islamic University, established a Master of Medical Sciences, Medical Rehabilitation and Science program for 2 years. And me, one of the graduates from this program. There are other colleges regarding that graduate diploma of 2 years. UNRWA College, Gaza Training College, related to the UNRWA, graduated people or the students of 2 years diploma. The University College also graduate people of 2 years, a diploma of 2 years. Next, please. Regarding the structure that control and regulate the profession in Gaza Strip, there are 3 main structures. First one, the governmental regulator, which is the Ministry, Palestinian Ministry of Health, which has the majority of physiotherapy centers and hospitals belong to the Ministry of Health. The second body or structure that regulate the practice of physiotherapy profession, Palestinian Physiotherapy Association. According to the statistics of Palestinian Physiotherapy Association, about 1,389 of participants in registered in the society before October 2023. International regulatory partners as WHO, World Health Organization, they have a sector rehabilitation task force called Rehabilitation Task Force, which act as a facilitator among rehabilitation societies that work in Gaza Strip during the war and before the war. Next, please. About the workforce status before October 2023, about 700 licensed physiotherapy, according to the statistics of Palestinian Physiotherapy Association. 60% of these registered physios are female practitioners. Most of them work in the hospitals, clinics, belongs to the Ministry of Health and UNRWA clinics and the private centers in Gaza Strip. Next, please. If we want to see some achievements before the war, we have to know that Palestinian Physiotherapy Association and colleagues from Ministry of Health who are regulating the practice of the profession, they are doing a lot of work toward improving the level of physiotherapy profession in Gaza and to improving the level of practice by training, by education. They import trainers from abroad through other associations like MAP UK and other associations that support in the capacity building of physios in Gaza Strip. Another thing, increasing the public awareness of physiotherapy profession. And this is the mission of our students during their study. We give them as a type of community education that prepare some topics regarding physiotherapy, regarding health awareness, and doing these lectures or meetings with school students, high secondary schools, with other association in Gaza Strip as municipalities, schools, teachers, any other professionals which are not belong to the health sector. Expansion of the services in the hospital and the private centers, which become each hospital in Gaza Strip now has physiotherapists working in the inpatient departments and the clinics of the hospitals. International collaboration and conferences. The Ministry of Health, Palestinian Physiotherapy Association, the Palestinian University, Islamic University, Al-Azhar University, regularly held annual conferences in coordination between them. Next, please. About the condition and the status of healthcare system in Gaza, we must know that it is overstretched since before 2023. As Gaza Strip is under siege for more than 18 years. And a lot of equipments, a lot of modalities that needed for physiotherapy is maybe prevented or take more than the normal time to be delivered to Gaza Strip. High rates of conflicts related injuries as Al-Aqsa Intifada, war in 2008, 2012, 2014, 2021, all these actions and conflicts accumulate a huge number of injured people with amputations, spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, and other with psychological problems as PTSD. Chronic shortages of rehabilitation equipment and trained specialists is the main challenge that we face in Gaza Strip. As borders are closed, rarely to be traveled abroad for training or something like this. Next, please. Here, there is some photos. The one to the right, it's during the war. It was when Wafa Hospital displaced to another place in mid-zone area. About 10 patients was in this hall that you see here, overcrowded, lack of equipments, and even with no minimum requirements for rehabilitation, windows closed by nylon, and many obstacles that we faced during our work in the mid-zone area in Deir al-Balah. The one picture to the left, it's the gymnastic hall in Wafa Hospital in Gaza City. It was equipped before 2023, and it was damaged during the genocide, and maintenance was done again for this hall. We have to know, here in Gaza, we have about 13 public hospitals, and all these hospitals under strain, and all these hospitals, there is physiotherapists work in these hospitals in the inpatient department. Some hospitals has outpatients department. We have in Gaza chronic electricity problem, and we have average of electricity before 2023 is 4 to 6 hours per day on. The other 18 hours is off and depending on generators and solar energy resources. Nowadays, and after genocides and during the genocide, all the resources of electricity from solar and generators. Movement restrictions, siege effects which prevent travel of physios from Gaza Strip to abroad for training or other training issues or training purposes. Underfunding and low salaries. Here we have to know that most of physiotherapists working in national and governmental hospitals are just receiving about $300 to $400 per month. Difficulty accessing advanced training abroad. This is one of the problems that we face from the beginning. We talk about this. And nowadays, during the genocide, even traveling between the north and the south of Gaza Strip is impossible nowadays. Next, please. Here are some photos, also the photo from Wafa Hospital. Sorry for that, because I'm working here, and all these photos from my phone. Physiotherapy in Gaza before the genocides, we have many rehabilitation hospitals. Some of these rehabilitation hospitals specialized in rehabilitation, as Wafa Rehabilitation Hospital specialized in neurological rehabilitation. We have Artificial Limb and Polio Center, which is specialized for rehabilitation of amputees. This center is funded by International Red Cross, and they receive training through International Red Cross. Wafa Rehabilitation Hospital, the main supporter for this hospital is Palestinian Ministry of Health through referral system, as most of patients treated in the hospital and rehabilitated in the hospital are referred by Palestinian Ministry of Health. Here we have about 70 inpatient bed capacity before the war. And during the war, nowadays, after maintenance of the hospital, and we reach about 65 rehabilitation beds. Another hospital working in rehabilitation is Al Amal Hospital in Khan Yunis in the south of Gaza Strip, which belongs to the Palestinian Red Crescent Society. Its capacity about 20 beds capacity. The fourth hospital is Hamad bin Khalifa Hospital, which established in 2019, which is designed mainly for active rehabilitation cases and lower limbs rehabilitation amputees, according to the agreement between the hospital and the Artificial Limb and Polio Center. Governmental inpatient and outpatient physiotherapy services, which belong to the government hospital or clinics, and others private, and other clinics belongs to the UNRWA. We have some community-based programs for helping patients who discharge from rehabilitation hospitals. Next, please. Here, when we talk about the role of physiotherapy and rehabilitation in Gaza, before 23, it's nearly the same as after 23, but before 23, we have treated many cases of chronic cases, stroke, and traumatic brain injuries from road traffic accident, spinal cord injury from road traffic accident, in addition to the conflict survivors. Community health, which improve mobility and independence for elderly and disabled population. Many teams work in the community and trying to reach these people in their places, their tenants, their temporary places where they live. Reduce reliance on overburdened hospitals through outpatient care. Now, as you know, most of the hospitals are over crowded with patients. And the eye care, intensive care units in the hospitals, most of the time trying to evacuate these beds in the ICU units to make it ready to receive new patients daily. That blockade the health workers and the staff to try to find something or some places less equipping for ICU, but it's to save other people who are injured and seriously injured. Next, please. About the importance of rehabilitation services in Gaza. Next, please. Next, please. Since the start of the genocide, many of our colleagues start to volunteer in the hospital and trying to add or to provide some patients with crutches, trying to educate them how to deal with the fractures, how to deal during this injury, because there is no physiotherapy centers provide physiotherapy sessions. There is no secure place to provide these services for them. So all what they need is providing the patients and the injured people with the equipments, crutches, walkers, any other equipments or something like wheelchairs, and educate them how to use these equipments and let them to go out to the community. Prevent long-term disability amid destroyed healthcare infrastructures. Also, this is another challenge that we face. Most of the hospitals in Gaza Strip, from north to the south, is totally destructed, or little of them are partially destructed. Psychological trauma integration. There is teams from Gaza community mental health programs and other mental health societies trying to spread and deploy their teams in the community and trying to make some support to find some solutions for those people who are in the refugee camps, in the displaced areas, in the tenants, even in the roads. There is also pediatric emergency. We have to know that 1 in 10 children now is disabled, according to the UN estimates, which early intervention is critical. System collapse response. Here we have outreach rehabilitation teams, as we talked before. Family education is the main target of these mobile teams, to educate the families how to work with their children, how to overcome the shortage of staff in this community. Next, please. When we talk about the impact of genocide in physiotherapy profession, we have to know that destruction of more than 90% of rehabilitation facilities. Wafa Hospital is the only rehabilitation society working in Gaza and north of Gaza, and Hamad is out of service, Hamad Hospital out of service. Al Amal Hospital in the south, in field hospital, they are working in a field rehabilitation hospital. Increased demand for trauma rehabilitation because of amputation, burns, traumatic brain injury. Shift to the emergency care over rehabilitation. Next, please. Here are some statistics before October 2023 and after October 2023. In the past, about more than 30,000 of people in Gaza need rehabilitation according to the WHO estimates. Now, more than 250,000 are newly injured and in need for rehabilitation and physiotherapy. Next, please. The impact of the genocide in the profession, we have to know that about 51 of our colleagues are martyred during this genocide. Majority of them are working in the Ministry of Health, others master students, others undergraduate students, and some of them in the internship program. Next, please. Here is one of my beloved colleagues, beloved student. He was martyred during this genocide. He just finished his graduation ceremony or graduation just before 2 or 3 months, and he's ready to work in the field of rehabilitation. Just he killed on 27 of April 2025 while he's in a cafe trying to connect with the internet. Next, please. We have to know that we have something to do for our people, despite of what happened to our staff, to our colleagues from physios and other health professions. Despite of all these things, despite of difficult situation that we live in Gaza, we have to know that for more than 3 months of no food, no medical aids, nothing is entered to Gaza. And many of people doesn't find a loaf of bread to eat it during these days. Some of them stay for more than 2 to 3 days not eating bread. Improvised rehabilitation in shelters and makeshift clinics. This is the mission that we work during this genocide, focusing on emergency mobility aids, crutches, walkers, wheelchairs, and trying to educate people how to deal with their injury during these difficult situations and circumstances. Psychological first aid. Next, please. I don't know exactly how can I express my feelings to you toward these names of our colleagues who was killed during this genocide. Many of them are from my students. Many of them are colleagues. We work together, we eat together, we play together, but this is the situation. They are in better life nowadays. They did what they have to do. And also we hope that we can meet someday in the heaven. Next, please. Thank you all. But I would like to thank you again. Thank you for your support, for giving me a chance to stand before such a community like this. And I hope future will hold and come with peace to all Palestinians in Gaza Strip and West Bank Jerusalem, everywhere Palestinian. And at that date, all colleagues, all people who stand with us will share us our pleasure, will share us our victory of peace. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mohammed, for such a beautiful presentation, not just about an overview of the rehab health system in Gaza, but sharing your personal stories and the impact of the genocide. I'd just like to have a moment here for us to take a moment of silence and honor the names here on the screen. And yeah.
Can I say the names?
Of course.
Our colleague Martayer Abdel Karim Abu Sharia, Abdel Raouf Al Assar, Abdel Rahman Al Ash'al, Ahmed Abu Shakra, Ahmed Farajallah, Ahmed Abu Harbid, Ahmed Al Masri, Ahmed Ishrafi, أو علاء إسماعيل, الخطيب علي أو خباب الخباب علي, أمين عليوة, أماني العبسي, عامر عدنان الكرد, أريج طولان, بيان عوض الله, إيهاب أبو مسامح, عيسى فايز عيسى, فادي الودية, فؤاد رجب, هبة الجراني, إيهاب أبو مسامح, امتياز, طبعا it's internship student, أميرة هارون, جميل حمدان, جهاد السيد, كريم أبو شريعة, مها الهمس, مرح موسى أبو نصر, مي المصري, ميار الوحيدي, محمد علي, محمد أبو لبدة, محمد الشوبكي, محمد درويش. Muhammad Darwish, he was killed with all his family, his wife and 6 of his children. Muhammad Fakhri al-Mijdalawi, Nimr Shanshir, Noor Abu Shaqra, Ula Adnan al-Kurd, Ula al-Durra, Oud al-Haw, Ra'fat Jum'a, Rania Abu Shawarib, Reem Abu Libda, Reem al-Guga, ساجدة صبيح, صالح القهوجي, شهرزاد الأخرس, شيماء صبيح, Wasim Yahya. Really, this is some of the names, the first time that I know they are killed during this genocide. Some of them was close to me. Some others was from my students. May Allah take them in the heaven. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you. And we hope you're able to stick around to the end when we have a chance to open it up for some conversation. Next, I'd like to invite our next 3 contributors and teachers and colleagues from Gaza who pre-recorded some videos, but they're actually present here with us today. So I wanted to take a moment to see if they wanted to say hello before sharing their stories and their videos. So if they're here present and you want to say hi, please do. I think Doa, are you? I don't, maybe Doa's not here, but is Shad or Hadil here? Okay, maybe oh wait, maybe we'll watch Doa's video.
Hello.
There she is.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shahad. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for letting me share my story, one in a million story. Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
So let's watch. I'm going to pass it over to these videos, and then we'll hopefully have maybe Hadios say hello when it gets to hers. Folks, we know you can't hear on your end yet right now. We're just going to figure it out.
Hello, Doa. Do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Dura Muhammad Abu Holi. I am living in middle of Gaza, in Al Maghazi camp. I am now studying physiotherapist in Al Azhar University. I finished before. I was teacher before, yeah, and I finished all the Quran. I was have like. I was in United Arab Emirates, and it's like a beautiful life there. I was have a beautiful life, peace, everything, nothing, supporting family. That's it.
And what made you decide to study physiotherapy?
Yeah, because helping people. I love to help people, give them helpful, give them smiling, like a butterfly.
Oh, that's lovely. And obviously the war in Gaza has been going on for 18 months now. Can you just tell people a little bit about the challenges of being a physiotherapy student in Gaza?
Yeah, I'm a student in Gaza, like a physiotherapist student. We have much of suffering and a lot of like it's too much difficult to studying in Gaza. It's not easy. Like charging our device, it's too much. We sending our device to another place to charge it, and after that it's come in a half of the day. Like the whole day it's going like to just to charge it our device, and when and in another day we are like download the lectures and the PDF files to study. It's too much difficult. Like one day we don't download, another day we have to study that, and our college we are like sharing us the PDF because the net and electrical is so much bad. We like meet each other in this in war and like difficult situation. We have to meet each other in another place, and we sharing each other the files and the lectures.
So it must sometimes feel really hard to continue with your studies. What do you think keeps you going studying physiotherapy?
My goals, I need to like finish this physiotherapist because I need to help the people and give them hope. That's what I'm here for it.
So what are you most looking forward to when you qualify as a physiotherapist?
I need to save people's lives, like give them hope and rehabilitation for they come back to life normally, like everyone.
Thank you so much for all you do, and we are looking forward to seeing your journey.
Anytime, my dear.
Hi, Hadil.
Hi.
Would you like to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
أنا هديل الرفاتي، عمري 22 سنة، أدرس العلاج الطبيعي في جامعة الأزهر في قطاع غزة، وسعيدة بوجودي هنا أتحدث هنا تحدث المنتصر. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you, and thank you for joining us and agreeing to share your story. So we met because you are a physiotherapy student in Gaza. So can you tell me about why you decided to study physiotherapy?
Okay. منذ الصغر وأنا أريد هذا التخصص. والدي مريض بمرض التهاب المفاصل المقصد، فمنذ الصغر وأنا أراه يعاني، وكان يأخذ جلسات علاج طبيعي. وعندما رأيته وهو يتمرن التمارين البيتية في المنزل، رغبت منذ الصغر أريد أن أكون أخصائية علاج طبيعي، وكبر هذا الحلم معي حتى وصلت للجامعة وقررت هذا القرار بشكل نهائي أن أدرس التخصص العلاج الطبيعي. لدي جملة دائما ما أقولها: الطب يضيف أياما إلى حياتك، ولكن العلاج الطبيعي يضيف حياة إلى أيامك.
Thank you. Now, the very tragic war in Gaza has been going on for over 18 months. How is it being a student in Gaza?
لقد كانت تحديات غير معتادة، لم نسمع بها حتى بالروايات أن ندرس في الحرب. لقد كانت شيئا مفاجئا. بدأت معاناتي منذ تركي للبيت، كيف أفاضل بين أشيائي، ماذا أترك وماذا أحمل وماذا يمكنها الحقيبة أن تحمل. يمكنها أن تحمل الذكريات، يمكنها أن تحمل حتى الكتب. بدأت معاناتي النزوح من مكان لآخر، نزوح جديد، يعني وداع جديد، يعني أن نترك المزيد من الأشياء التي ما تبقى لنمتلكها. حتى وصلنا لإعلان الأزهر للاستمرار التعليم الإلكتروني. لقد كان قرارا صعبا، يعني حتى عائلتي أخبرتني أن لا أفعل. كيف لي أن أدرس بدون كتب، بدون كهرباء، بدون لابتوب، بدون حتى أجهزة حديثة للدراسة الإلكترونية؟ لقد كان صعبا للغاية. صباحا نحن نتعرض للخطر، وفي المساء نحن نبحث عن ما نأكله. كيف خلال كل هذا أن أفصل حزني على ما فقدته، سواء البيت، سواء أحبتي، سواء خسارات البلاد والمشاهد التي كنا نراها سواء بأم أعيننا أم ما نراه على الأخبار. قد كان صعبا جدا أن أفصل عقلي عن الواقع وأتفرغ فقط للدراسة التي صعبة، والتي صعبة بحد ذاتها، بدون كتب، بدون ورق، بدون حتى أن يكون لدينا تواصل مباشر مع الدكاترة أو الجامعة.
Thank you. And I suppose despite the challenges of war, you are committed to studying for physiotherapy. What are you most looking forward to when you qualify as a physiotherapist?
لا أريد أن يقال عني عاشت وماتت. أريد أن أكون لدي حياة، أريد أن يكون لدي قصصا لأرويها. لا أريد كأي أخصائي علاج طبيعي درس وتخصص وعمل كأي شخص طبيعي. أريد أن أضيف شيئا لهذا التخصص، شيئا لم يفعله أحد من قبل. وهدفي الأول منذ دراسة هذا التخصص أن أربط بين الطب النفسي، بين العلاج النفسي والعلاج الطبيعي. The relationship between psychological distress and rehabilitation outcomes. هذا الشيء اللي أنا بدي أعمله، بدي أصله، بدي أربط كيف العلاج النفسي. جدا هذا دراسات حديثة، أريد أن أدرس دراسات حديثة على حالات حقيقية وأن أدمج بين العلاجين الاثنين.
Thank you so much. That has been so inspiring to hear from you. We really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hadil. We have one more video of Jishad's, but Hadil is trying to join us right now. Her internet is a little unstable, but I'm going to give a quick moment to see if she's able to join. She's been trying hard to join through the waiting room. Can I ask folks to turn their video off briefly? Okay. I don't think it's going to happen right now, but we might try again after. Let's go to our next video voice clip.
Hi, my name is Shahad Ala Shatali and I'm from Gaza. Surviving until today has not been easy. I chose to study physical therapy with passion and purpose because of my father and because I've seen how deeply it can impact those who need it. From day one, I loved every part of my journey until the war began and everything changed. My university was bombed and I was suddenly cut off from my education, my friends, and the life I had been building. We were forced to evacuate multiple times, but the first one was the hardest. My father, an emergency triage officer at Al-Shifa hospital, refused to leave his duties and remained committed to his role. Then the hospital came under siege. We lived in constant fear, terrified that he might be taken prisoner. 5 weeks later, the hospital was forcibly evacuated. Patients, staff, and everyone inside were made to walk south on foot. When we were finally reunited with him, we couldn't believe it. That hospital meant so much to me. I had done my clinical training there for months. Seeing it destroyed that way really broke my heart. Every day then became a struggle, not just to survive, but to hold on to hope. 7 months into the genocide, Al-Azhar University announced e-learning so students could resume their education online. Because of that opportunity, I achieved something I will never forget. I graduated with my physical therapy degree in the heart of this chaos, under the sound of bombs and surrounded by fear. I carried my books through ruins and displacement, studied by flashlight, and held on to my dream when everything else was falling apart. Despite the circumstances, I completed my clinical training in 3 different hospitals. We treated and witnessed cases we had only read about in textbooks, injuries and trauma that no classroom could have prepared us for. Reaching these hospitals was another challenge in itself. The roads had been separated, many destroyed by airstrikes, and public transportation was almost non-existent. Each transfer was a journey through danger and uncertainty. Still, we kept going. That moment reminded me that even in destruction, we can still rise. I even made my graduation cap out of cardboard and colored paper, and my sister took some pictures of me since there were no ceremonies for 2 academic years. For 2 academic years, we had to celebrate in our own way. Now, my greatest hope and only hope is to continue this path, to treat patients, help rebuild our hospitals, and to serve those who need it most. Sharing our stories is the only way to show the world our truth. Thank you for standing with us. Your support reminds us that we are not alone.
And you're definitely not alone. Thank you, Rachel, Doa, Hadil, and Chad, for taking the time to record those videos, and for your powerful words that demonstrate such power, passion, and strength. And that just know that the physio profession is very lucky to have you. Next, I'd like to introduce Rachel Moses. She is a consultant physiotherapist from the UK, working out of the National Health Service. She has recently returned from Gaza, and she's also the physiotherapy placement coordinator for medical aid for Palestinians. Thank you, Rachel, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you to our previous presenters, because I think I speak on behalf of everyone and we're just about holding it together. Your courage and tenacity is just inspiring. And I feel actually very privileged and blessed to have been visiting Palestine and Gaza since 2017. It is an honor to not only
visit, but to have many friends and colleagues, and sadly, many have been killed. So I speak in honour of them today. First slide, please. So, as a couple of the speakers have mentioned already, there are a lot of humanitarian aid agencies working in Gaza, and a number working with physiotherapy and physiotherapy services directly. And for myself, Medical Aid for Palestinians started a dedicated physiotherapy program in 2016. Some incredible physiotherapists helped design the program, and Dr. Ahmed Yunus, I have to give him credit. Many call him the godfather of physiotherapy, and he is one of the people who helped pull the program together. But really the focus had been on traumatic injuries, so life-saving interventions, and they really wanted to work with the Ministry of Health Physio specifically to help provide sustainability, education to the physiotherapists in Gaza, and that was working with 38 physiotherapy unit, an incredible physiotherapy lead called Dr. Sami and Dr. Walid, who really helped us to bring some of our UK experts to help with continued professional development, because the physiotherapists of Gaza are incredibly intelligent, resourceful, innovative healthcare professionals, and it's just their access to continued professional development that we struggle with because of the embargoes, the restrictions, the illegal blockade. So we really helped with the sustainability. Next slide, please. We had two project aims looking at how we can help increase the efficiency and effectiveness of physiotherapy interventions and help improve the access of physiotherapy to the people of Gaza. Next slide, please. I won't talk too much about the outcomes, but the Palestinian physiotherapists are so methodical in everything they do. You know, they were really keen for testing and exams. They wanted to assess their improvement and their evidence, their learning from the interventions and teaching that we did. And the teaching was both online and face-to-face in missions. And there were several service evaluations and projects. Many of them have been published or went to conference, either in spoken presentations. And I know there are members of the physiotherapy members in the audience today who've presented their work internationally as well. Next slide, please. So really, I've been asked today just to spend 5 minutes talking about my most recent trip to Gaza. So as I mentioned, I've been to Gaza many times since 2017, but this was my first time since October 2023. I was based in Nasser in Khan Yunis with the rehabilitation unit there, but also we have a Solidarity Polyclinic in Deir el-Balah. This is the main building, and we were staying on the 4th floor, and you can see the 2nd floor that was hit there via is an Israeli military attack on the 2nd floor of the hospital. Next slide, please. This is what it looks like from the inside, and it really just demonstrates that hospitals are not safe. And despite the continued bombardments faced by our healthcare professionals and physiotherapists, they turn up to work every single day. The physiotherapists in Gaza work every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They do not stop to provide physiotherapy and rehabilitation to people that need it. And it is absolutely inspiring. Next slide, please. This is the view from our accommodation block on the 4th floor, and really even in the hospital complex itself, you can see the level of destruction and devastation. Next slide, please. This is a makeshift surgical ward. Obviously, you've seen the 2nd floor surgical ward was destroyed, and this also increases the capacity for surgical patients, post-operative surgical patients and trauma patients within the hospital complex. Next slide, please. Also a view from the Nasser hospital. So this is just around the corner of the balcony. Is the ambulance depot. Currently, there are less than a third of ambulances in Gaza operational because obviously they have been targeted by military attacks. And to the back of the photograph there, where you can see the light shining on the left-hand corner, that is the mortuary. You can see, tens of people around there waiting to see their loved ones who have sadly been killed. And the mosque, which is like a makeshift mosque, which is a tented area to the right of that under canvas. Every morning, hundreds of people would come to view their relatives in the mortuary before they went to the mosque and the burial ground. And it was, it is a sight that we never ever got used to all through the day, the mornings, the evenings. Next slide, please. I also never got used to seeing parents carrying their dead children into the hospital. This is just one image. As you will know, movements across Gaza are very restricted. So when there is attacks through the day, through the night, people will travel for miles to a hospital that is still functioning to bring their loved ones, whether they be dead or alive. The bombs are constant through the day and night. I don't know if you noticed the sound of drones on a couple of the videos. The drones are constant, so if the bombs don't keep you awake at night, the drones definitely do. And they are very, very close to hospitals as well. Nowhere is safe and nowhere is free from the bombing. Next slide, please. But really, what I want to focus on is where the physiotherapists are working in the hospitals. And this isn't just central to Nasser. Even though Nasser is one of the most functioning hospitals, it's still not fully functioning. But the physiotherapists work from the very immediate, from the emergency room. And I know we have Dr. Alla on the call as well. From the emergency room, in triage, in the operating room, providing immediate post-operative treatment. So basically working with the surgeons, and the surgeons will let the physiotherapists know, this is Osama and Israel, what kind of dressings they want, what splints they need, post-operative advice, so they can really provide that immediate physiotherapy interventions. Next slide, please. Physiotherapists have never stopped working on the hospital wards to provide critical rehabilitation from adult and pediatric intensive care all the way through to discharge. They provide timely interventions and sometimes multiple times a day. They work 12 hours a day in the hospital and they sleep in the hospital as well, so they can provide that immediate support. Next slide, please. We also have physiotherapists working in outpatient departments and rehabilitation departments where they have not been destroyed. And they are huge specialist generalists. So every physio in Gaza will be taught every speciality. Here in the UK, people very quickly try and develop just one speciality, musculoskeletal, respiratory, whatever it may be. But the physiotherapists of Gaza really are multi-skilled in a number of different specialities because they never know what's going to come through the door. And next slide, please. Of course, you will have all seen images of physiotherapists working in displaced camps and also just setting up their own rehabilitation clinics in tented areas as well. Next slide, please. So I obviously am a physiotherapist, but we work as part of a multidisciplinary team, and occupational therapy in Gaza, even though it's a smaller profession, it's just as skilled. And honestly, the physiotherapists absolutely love occupational therapists. They bring a unique skill set and are highly skilled. And this is Yusuf, the occupational therapist, and of course our psychologist, such a critical part of the team. This is Hani here working with Sham, who's a 5-year-old girl who suffered a traumatic brain injury and has had an incredible recovery because of the therapy she's received. Next slide, please. But undergraduate education, as we've heard, continues, and even though laptops are destroyed, universities have destroyed, physiotherapists use textbooks and handbooks and they write everything. They write their whole theses on mobile phones. It is just incredible. And every day they smile. They are so gracious and so thankful for the education they receive, despite it being in the most hostile of conditions. And this is Heba, you can see, who's an intern on the right-hand side, with Mahmoud, their supervisor. Next slide, please. and research. So I could not believe that despite the ongoing genocide the Gaza physiotherapists are facing, they continue to actively carry out research and have work published. I know Dr. Al and Dr. Mossab are on the phone on the call today, and they have both managed to publish during the last 19 months, which is just incredible. And here you can see Mahmoud successfully defending his thesis and being awarded an MSc just a few months ago. And this is a photo of him with his family. So just an incredible achievement. Next slide, please. I just really wanted to finish on some of my reflections on my time in Gaza. I was there for just over a month. I hope to go back very soon as it is safe. I would be back in a heartbeat if I could. But really, the physiotherapists of Gaza, the OTs, the psychologists, the whole rehabilitation teams are really trying to stay positive. They have hope. They are always learning, always striving to learn. Any type of learning that is available, they will take it. You know, they haven't ate for days. They are dehydrated, they are fatigued, they are tired, they've been displaced 10, 12 times. They've lost members of their families. They still want to learn to better themselves in the profession. Celebrate the small successes, embrace the good that is around them, and they really make time for each other with coffee when they have it, food when they have it. They make time to sit, smile, and have laughs. And honestly, they have so much respect for themselves and their profession. And I think my big message to you all is keep lobbying your professional organizations, our global organizations. I think they have been silent. I think we need to speak up on behalf of these incredible professionals because they deserve our solidarity and support. And I continue to put pressure on them, protest your governments, because we really need to end this genocide now. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a real honor to be with you today.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining us. We're honored to have you here today. And thank you for those beautiful images and powerful words that show the strength and hope and the resilience of the Gazan and Palestinian physios and their commitment to our profession, like you said. So thank you, and hope you're around as well when we have some time at the end to answer some questions that we may have. Next, unfortunately, Mahmoud is not available to join us today, but he did record a video that we would love to share with everybody.
مرحبا، أنا محمود الحلاق، معالج وظيفي من قطاع غزة وتحديدا من شمال قطاع غزة. قبل هذه الحرب اللعينة كنت أعمل كمدير فني لقسم العلاج الوظيفي في كبرى مراكز التأهيل على مستوى فلسطين، مركز حمد بن جاسم للرعاية التأهيلية المتكاملة. صراحة الأوضاع منذ أكثر من 600 يوم وإحنا بنعيش حرب، بنعيش نزوح، بنعيش وجع، بنعيش تجويع وأمور صعبة جدا. يعني صراحة تكاد الكلمات لا تصف الأمور التي كنا نعيشها. في البداية بدأت قصتي في ديسمبر 2023 وتحديدا في بداية نزوحي لمدينة رفح. صراحة بدأت القصة بعد أن تم استهدافي في المنزل الذي كنت أنزح فيه وفي شمال قطاع غزة، وبعد ذلك قررنا التوجه إلى مدينة رفح. طبعا كانت الأمور في مدينة رفح تكاد بأن تكون أوضاع صعبة جدا وأوضاع كارثية بسبب كثافة الناس المتواجدين هناك. فمن هان إجت الفكرة وإجت الرؤية لأنه أبدأ في رحلة جديدة وهي خيمة الأمل للتأهيل. صراحة كانت فترة 3 شهور كفيلة إنها تخليني أعيد ترتيب شتات نفسي، وبعد عملية نزوح استمرت تقريبا 3 مرات خلال 3 شهور. فقررت إنه أبدأ رحلة جديدة بعنوان خيمة الأمل للتأهيل. خيمة الأمل للتأهيل كانت تقدم خدمات العلاج الوظيفي والطبيعي وعلاج النطق ومشاكل الكلام وأيضا خدمات الدعم النفسي. خيمة الأمل للتأهيل قدمت خدماتها لأكثر من 800 شخص تحديدا من النساء والأطفال والشباب، ولكن كانت الفئة الكبرى هي من النساء والأطفال. ولكن كما أحرق الاحتلال كل شيء، أحرق خيمة الأمل في أبريل 2024 حيث كانت تتواجد في شمال مدينة رفح. بعد ذلك اضطررت إلى النزوح إلى مدينة خان يونس، وصراحة فترة قعدت تقريبا من شهر ونص لشهرين وأنا قاعد مكتئب، يعني أكاد نقول أصبحت مضطرب نفسيا وجسديا وماليا أيضا. فقررت إنه بعد هيك إنه أبلش ولو بإشي بسيط. فكانت الفكرة وكانت الرؤية إنه أبلش كأقدم خدماتي بشكل متنقل بعيدا عن تواجدي في مكان معين، وذلك بسبب الظروف الأمنية والظروف الصعبة في هذاك الوقت. فقررت إنه يكون في عندي فريق طبي كامل وأبلش أقدم خدماتي بين مخيمات النزوح. هذا الكلام تحديدا في نهاية مايو وبداية شهر يونيو 2024. فبدأت بفكرة إنه أبلش حاليا أجمع الفريق وأجمع التيم. فكان عندي أخصائي علاج وظيفي وأخصائي علاج طبيعي وأخصائي نطق وأخصائي دعم نفسي، وكان عندي ممرض وكان طبيب عام ودكتور صيدلي. وبدأنا رحلتنا في التنقل بين الخيام وبين مراكز الإيواء، وكنا نشتغل تحت إطار مبادرة سوا للتأهيل الطبي والمجتمعي. وبفضل من الله عز وجل مبادرة سوا ما زالت إلى اليوم تعمل في جنوب قطاع غزة ووسط قطاع غزة وأيضا في شمال قطاع غزة. لحتى الآن يعني نتكلم إحنا في شهر مايو حاليا، في آخر مايو تحديدا. بدأنا في مرحلة جديدة بعد تقديم خدماتنا لأكثر من 7400 حالة، ما بين تقديم خدمات رعاية تمريضية أولية وبين تقديم خدمات التأهيل الطبي والاستشارات والتوعية والتوجيه والإرشاد. قدمنا كمان كنا نقدم أدوية للمرضى المزمنين وكمان لمصابي الحرب والأشخاص من ذوي الإعاقات المختلفة. وحاليا إحنا بنعمل في 3 نقاط أساسية في شمال قطاع غزة وتحديدا غرب مدينة غزة في منطقة الرمال الشمالي. هذه قصتي وهذه روايتي من بين آلاف الروايات المتواجدة في قطاع غزة. سعيد جدا بتواجدي معكم في هذا اللقاء، وأشكر كل من ساهم وتبرع معنا، وأكرر بأنه ما زال باب التبرع متاح لمن أراد أن يساهم ولو بالقليل. تحياتي لكم، محمود الحلاق، معالج وظيفي من شمال قطاع غزة.
Thank you, Mahmoud. This won't be our only interaction, I'm sure, and we will be staying in touch. So next steps here is I really want us, because I know I will, for each of us to hang on to those words and those stories that, resonated. Because I think it's those moments that really make us collectively take action. And this is where we want to spend the next remaining of our time together, is talking about what next. Next slide, please. So I want to thank you, our speakers, first, for contributing again before we dive into this next little bit. I don't think for me, words don't describe kind of my gratitude that I'm feeling right now. So thank you. But there are a few actions that we want to highlight here, and we'll follow up with an email that will include the slides and the video for those that want to rewatch it. But here are a few urgent, but also ongoing action that we're going to include in this follow-up email. So first, we will be sharing a letter and a letter template for you to write and send to your local government representatives and professional bodies to advocate and push governments to allow aid and to call for a permanent ceasefire. We cannot state the importance of the continued pressure that we need these institutions to feel continually from us. So we are, instead of having a signed petition letter, we are urging all of us for them to send individual letters so that they feel the pressure, they feel the volume and the loudness that comes with these individual responses and emails that we'll be sending. Next is, we want to continue to amplify and share these stories, especially stories from Gaza and those on the ground. So please share this recording. Please have conversations with your family and friends and neighbors and circles. We really hope that this is a catalyst for us to continue to build solidarity with our Palestinian colleagues. We will also be sharing a Google form that we ask you to share with us about the level of engagement that you'd like to stay involved in. That could be staying involved in some of these equipment donations opportunities as they come up. That could be staying involved with some strategic planning and organizing that physio and occupational colleagues may be involved in moving forward as the situation over there changes. Under the international solidarity section we have here is don't be afraid to start small, start grassroots. Okay, I think examples like this is a great way of what things can come out organically. There will be mutual aid opportunities, as we share in the next few slides, to donate to some of these physio and occupational services in Gaza. So next slide, please. This is at the end of the video, Mahmoud sent us his thanks for the donations. This is the QR code for Mahmoud's clinic, which is called Sawa Rehabilitation. We will be sharing this in the email, so thank you for those that can to donate. Next slide, please. In terms of resources, we are just referencing a few accounts here for you to stay informed and involved in the situation in Gaza. As mentioned when I started this, we know the Western media is biased in its stories and narratives around the situation. So these are a few accounts that we have here, and we'll include this in our follow-up email for you to continue to stay connected about the current situation over there and to hear the voices from those closest about what's needed from us. Up top here, because currently I'm in Canada, this is the link, and please, I encourage all of you to find the links to your local government representatives because they represent us. We are their constituencies, and it is their responsibility to respond and have a stance on what's going on. Next, we're also sharing this BDS list. For those that are unfamiliar, these are companies that are complicit in their funding of this genocide. The QR code here brings you to a guide by the Palestinian BDS National Committee, which provides some guidelines and recommendations on corporations to boycott, divest, and sanction. And we hope that not only do you engage in BDS as a form of resistance, but also feel brave and courageous enough to have these conversations with your friends and colleagues and neighbors as we continue to build this solidarity with them. Next. And before we open it up to our Q&A portion, I'd like to invite Alex for a few final words. Alex has not only been instrumental in bringing this together, but has really been the backbone in coordinating all these moving pieces across different time zones. I am so honored and so grateful to have Alex as a champion for health justice in the physiotherapy profession, but I'm more honored to have her as a friend. So I'm going to pass that on to you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Derek. We organized this event for many different reasons. The first was to honor our colleagues in Gaza. In the face of unimaginable horror, they continue to care for their clients and communities with courage and compassion. And we are so deeply grateful for your presence for you sharing your stories and demonstrating what true resilience looks like. We want to also honor our colleagues who have lost their lives in this genocide, because for us, they're not just numbers. They were sisters, they were brothers, fathers, mothers, and friends, all with a beating heart. They all had dreams and hopes for the future, and they were not threats. They were healthcare workers caring for their community. They were us. And secondly, we want to make the silence really loud. As healthcare workers, our duty is clear. We care for all. We stand for life, for hope, and for dignity, and we speak up and act when we see injustice. And yet, in this moment of profound loss, we have seen silence from those who have the most power to speak the loudest. And in that silence, they have taken a side. In choosing what they call neutrality, they chose complicity. And their silence roars louder than any words ever could. And there were also those who tried to silence us to make this event happen, because they know what we have is incredibly powerful, which is the truth. They tried, but they failed. And today is proof of that, and just how strong our collective solidarity is with over 125 people on this call right now. Now, we know that these are unimaginably dark times, and it's easy to fall into despair, to feel hopeless and so utterly small. But look at us all here. We are not alone. Our presence is resistance. Our solidarity is the antidote to that despair. Our unity is the antidote to the fear that some are trying to instill in us. And our courage is the antidote to their silence. And our courage is contagious. Now we have a choice to let fear consume us or to stand in our truth, to speak up over and over again, even when it's hard, but especially when it's hard. And finally, we came together to remind ourselves of our shared humanity, of our connectedness. Just like trees separated above ground are connected by their roots, so are we. Our struggles are connected, no matter the distance between the lands or the oceans that may be between us. That no matter whether your roots have always been grown in one place, or for us who had our young roots pulled out of the land in order to escape the bombs that block the stars in the sky above, our roots remain connected. Free Palestine. Now, this is not just a slogan, but it's an invitation to a verb, to doing, to taking action. This event was just the beginning, and we hope that many seeds have been planted. We hope to create a community of colleagues who want to share, who want to learn with and from each other, and who see that it is our duty to fight for our collective freedom. This is our way of honoring our colleagues in Palestine today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. This takes us to the end, and I'm going to invite everybody here that feel comfortable to turn their camera on. I think it'll be phenomenal to see all the faces here. And I think we're also going to enable the chat box for any words anybody wants to share. And we are actually very much on time, but we're going to leave it open for any questions that may come up that won't be answered in the follow-up email. And if we have a lot, we'll definitely send those to our speakers and get back to all of you. It's great to see all these faces. Alex, did you think about grabbing a screenshot? Are folks okay with the screenshot? I guess we're recording this, so it's okay. And thank you again to all our speakers, Mohammed, Doa, Hadil, Chad, Rachel, and Makhloud for contributing to today. It wouldn't have been possible without your stories. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to give us a few minutes here as we have things in the chat box. Or Alex, did you have anything to say to everybody?
Just so utterly grateful for everyone who's present here today. Don't think that it doesn't matter. It really does. All these actions really, really matter, despite what they try to tell us that it doesn't. And it's what keeps us going, all of us together. Yeah, I'm just really, really grateful, and I'm going to cry again, so I'm going to stop.
Thank you. Yes, I think Dr. Ali, you wanted to say something?
Can I say something?
Of course.
Thank you, Derek, Alex, Roses, Rashid, everybody. Tamam. First of all, I would like to thank you for organizing this great event. Actually, am I heard? My voice is clear? Okay. So, on behalf of my colleagues in Palestine, I'm living in Gaza, actually. I'm a graduate physio from with master degree, musculoskeletal master degree from University of Pittsburgh, and I'm working at Shifa Hospital. I'm a triage officer, emergency physiotherapy at Shifa Hospital. What our colleagues have just explained and talk about, it was reality, but even on the ground, on the scene, it's something even worse and worse. But with guys like you, colleagues who are raising our voice, listening to us, we'll never feel that we are forgotten. We are here. Your support of a great impact on the ground. And I'm telling my colleagues all the time that don't worry, we have our colleagues who are not forgotten still. Somebody is listening, somebody is raising your words, your wishes. We just look for something really a peaceful thing is just ceasefire, permanent, and just stop killing. I used to work in the early 90s in Jerusalem, and even I treated an Israeli children in Aline Hospital in West Jerusalem. We never thought about racism. We never thought about violent actions. We are peaceful, professional, medical professionals. We, as we swear on the Apocrat, we have to serve all the patients, wherever, whenever, whoever. So we just call again for permanent ceasefire. We lost a lot of colleagues. I used to be the Secretary General of the Palestinian Physiotherapy Association, but I never imagined that we will lose such a huge number of colleagues to be killed just being a Palestinian. Some of them even they lost their entire families. I'm sorry to say that. I shouldn't just make it sad to this, but it's the reality. And again, what I expect is from guys like you, brave like you, who are just spending these moments, these hours, just to think about Palestinian physiotherapy colleagues and professionals. Just we need to organize ideas on the time that now, as Rachel said, she used to be here, and unfortunately, I missed the time and the opportunity to see her. And Alex also was planning to come, but unfortunately, but I hope, and I'm sure that we will meet again, just to try with other colleagues everywhere. The more than 120 colleagues on the this event, this session. We're gonna plan something to rebuild the physiotherapy services, rebuild the educational institutions. And you heard some of the colleagues, even including my daughter, she told you, we'll never give up. We'll never give up. We have to work. We don't have another choice. We have to treat our patients. We have to stay with them. Even myself, I have been in the Shifa Hospital as emergency physiotherapy triage officer. I was staying since the first day till we have forced to be displayed. I didn't know anything about my family. I left them with Allah's protection, and He protect them until we did serve our patient. We refuse to leave anybody behind. And again, thank you very much. I appreciate your doing what you are doing, your time. Really greetings from Palestine. We hope to see you all here to rebuild our physiotherapy and rehabilitation services here. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. And I think with that, we'll see each other very soon, I'm sure. And please take care. Take good care of yourselves and others. Thank you.